Good morning, Mr. Harper. How are you this morning?
Good morning. How are you?
Good. You're our only attendee so far.
Oh, fun. Great.
So we're just waiting for Tyler. Dana was on the fence if she was going to be here or not last minute. So, hey, there you are.
Jazz hands.
We'll see if Tyler's, let me text him real quick. If not, it might be a one-man show. We'll just do our little presentation to you.
That'd be sweet. I like it.
If that works, we just want to get the information out too.
Morning, Jim.
Good morning, Todd. How are you?
I'm happy to be gracing the finance committee with my
Sir,
presence.
yes, sir.
This is new ground for me.
This is the best committee.
It's fun.
And the Sugar Cruncher Society.
Yep. What was that, Matt?
Facebook is not letting me post.
Careful, I posted it to Nathan's Facebook account the other day. We went live on his Facebook.
I'm on the town's one. Is this
Okay.
saying that the account is restricted?
It's personal.
Yeah, he came running up and was like, "You're
His
live."
friends are probably like, this is so uninteresting.
He's like, "Wait, Gloria, you're live on my first." I didn't know you could do that, but leave it to me to figure that out by accident. I'm texting Tyler right now.
Matt, we're on the shared drive is the most recent tracker.
Town clerk accounts payable Columbine.
Thank you. For some reason I kept pulling up an old one, which might be a copy I had somewhere on my computer.
We'll give him one more minute to respond, and if not, we might just give this presentation to you, Jim, and it'll be shorter, but unless you don't feel comfortable and we can reschedule.
No, I mean, let's do it.
All right, cool.
I mean, I always prefer everybody, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
But it's July.
I'd hate to lose out on the entire meeting. Do.
Go on to this there, because I might want to screen share it for a second.
Yeah.
And then can we identify the windows line, the doors line,
And the chorus line.
windows line, the doors line, and the HVAC one has like a different color. Because they were areas that got received board approval. We just highlight them or
All right, maybe we'll get started. It's Monday, July 17th at 9:05. And this is the Finance Committee meeting, and we only have Trustee Harper present out of Trustee Cranker and Trustee George are not here. So we'll continue. All right. So first on our agenda is our May actuals. We're still organizing accounts, so there's still some miscoded items, but overall we're on track with our current budget. our new budgeting software will make presentations of actuals a lot more user-friendly with comparisons to previous year's dates. So for revenues, we'll be down in the building permits and planning review fees since we're not seeing the build out we expected. And then for expenses, the streets budget will be quite a bit over since the winter was so intense. One thing John and I talked about, it was a lot of contracting services because we don't have a dump truck, like we had to borrow dump trucks. And that's something we're looking at as like maybe an investment in the future is to have our own dump truck. For the price we paid for the contracted services, we probably could have bought a dump truck.
You paid for just two of them, two used units, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's something we're looking at for budgeting next year is the potential of some of a new piece of equipment there, so we won't have to contract out. And it was a strange year too, because a lot of we had dump trucks down, so we had to rely on them even more than normal. Do you have any questions on the May actuals, Jim?
No, no, not yet.
Okay.
I'm just reviewing as you go along
Yep.
right here.
Yeah, and let's see, I think it's some projections there because we don't account for our administrative fees. So when you see those bottom line numbers, they're a little skewed because we don't do that until the end of the year. So, you know, we're expecting administration fees of like 775,000. And so sometimes it'll look really low, but if you add those in, we're right on track. And then sales tax. So going on to the sales tax, and it's really exciting right now with our budget is I've completed all the trainings for our new budget software, ClearGov. And by next finance committee meeting, I'll be able to walk you guys through it. We've uploaded our budget in there and have been playing around with some numbers, and it's exciting. I appreciate that purchase.
Nice.
All right. For sales tax, I didn't get the 4% sales tax from the county that you normally see in sales tax. Usually we get that notification on the 11th. I know Willie was busy last week. He was very busy last week. So I anticipate getting those numbers from him this week, and I'll publish that in the next packet. But this 1% is very similar to what we get in our 4%, just a reduced number. But the percentage of it going down, as you can see, we're down 77% from last year. Sales tax, and this is for May. It's for the month of May. And so we were up quite a bit the previous year, and that was from one entity paying. And so I'm wondering if there was a refund at all, because it was quite a significant amount the previous month. So, I mean, I can kind of see that in the numbers online, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see the next month what that looks like, because I don't know if this is just because there was that huge overpayment in April, and then there was like some kind of a refund that they did. So it's going to take another month for me to really get a handle on what happened there. But I mean, it wouldn't be surprising that we're down in May, given the weather.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
Yeah.
It's been like that across the board.
Yeah. Okay. So that feels pretty consistent with your business as well. Great. So yeah, as soon as we get the report from the county, I'll publish that as well. But we'll have more an idea of how we're doing this summer when June comes out. But I anticipate us to be down a little bit. And that's what we budgeted for, but it was really nice these last couple of years. We've been ahead.
Well, yes, I agree with you 100%. 20, 21, and 22, we saw a steady increase. The numbers right now, at least what I'm seeing on the lodging side, are numbers from 17, 18, 19.
Yep.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
Okay, that makes
Yeah, I
sense.
think we'll see that across the board
Yeah,
locally.
all right. Any other questions on sales tax? Okay.
It is what it is.
I know. Going on to grants, we just received another grant on Friday. $100,000 for planning for solar and a microgrid and power redundancy here in Silverton. So that was in partnership with SMPA. This brings our total number this year that we've received 1.6 million. And then we are administering right now with the Zanoni grant and the Kendall Master Planning Grant, which is now rolled over to the perimeter trail. That's $2,045,549. And we still have a couple of grants outstanding. So we've got, and the grant pending, I don't think that's been updated since we received these two grants. So
So it's not the 7,120,000.
for as far as pending,
Yeah.
no, we'll just add up the safe streets, the congressional direct spending, the three in the yellow, we can add up.
Okay.
Those are pending. We did receive word that we will be receiving something from USDA. John and I attended an infrastructure summit in Durango and was able to talk to USDA. And but I'm not sure how much is a loan and how much is a grant of that 4.5 million. So I'm not sure yet what that looks like. We'll be awarded that in October.
Okay.
So now we've got to do all these projects that we have money for. So now we would get really busy. But it's good news. We've got that money flow coming in. All right. And then any questions on our grants?
Yeah, you just made a great point. Are we set up for success in executing these grants? Are they shovel ready? Do we have staff? Do we have equipment? Do we have
Yes.
trucks?
Yes, we have a plan for how we're going to execute each one of these grants.
Perfect.
So, and it's staggered a little bit, but there's still quite a significant amount of overlap with reporting. The Ready grant, the 75,000 for the coordinator, which we interviewed for positions on Friday. That'll be kind of administered through San Juan Development Association. The IHOI grant, that was the purchase of the Zanoni property for administration, like the administrative fee. That ends in June of next year, and we're going to ask for extension to November so that we can finish out paying for that coordinator position since we combine those two. We are on track for the Kendall Planning Grant because that's going towards our perimeter trail, and that'll be finished up this year. Brownsfield grant, we won't be starting that until October. The rebate is already applied, so there's nothing else we need to do there for the recycling. And the code rewrite is in progress right now. We received 2 bids, which the Planning Commission will be reviewing on Tuesday. And then the Energized Rural Community Prize is mostly administered through San Miguel Power Association. So yeah, we're looking good.
Yeah.
All right, on to Columbine. Todd, you want to take this one over?
Mr. Todd.
Sure.
That's your intro.
Cool. So really exciting. Park's really coming along. The latest we've heard is our current target date is the second week of August, and we're feeling good about that for opening and having the building functioning and open to the general public. So to date, we have expended 89.85% of the total budget, approximately $106,000 remain unexpended to complete the project. Matt, do you have the ability to screen share the overall budget? So Jim, I'm not sure if you've seen this document. This is how we're tracking expenses. Page
Perfect.
one is budgeted expenses, and page 2 is the actual transactions logged as well. For the sake of this conversation, this first page is probably better to review. As you can see, in some areas, we've gone a fair amount over. In other areas, we've been able to save some money and are significantly under. The bottom line is essentially we have $106,246 unexpended, and to the best of our ability and consulting with the contractor, we believe we have approximately $141,250 to go. So we do believe we'll be in approximately $35,000 of the budgeted expense. Some of that stuff is attributable to some decisions and design modifications that we've made throughout the process. For example, ones the trustees are definitely aware of was the doors and windows overage, which was approved by the trustees. The HVAC installation as well was approved by the trustees. Those are reflected in the actual budget. So those numbers that I was just throwing around are reflective of those additions to the bottom line as they've been approved. Other areas were the front facade was not reflected in the design as approved, and we added that for the planning commission and kind of just satisfy some of our historic architecture folks in town, and we think it looks great.
We received that, or we did that after we received the bid from.
Correct.
Right.
So these are things that were added after the initial bid was provided by Brian, which was on the old design. And those include, those items include a small coffee bar upstairs, just having a sink, so we can host meetings. We framed out an additional office upstairs that was unplanned to make a larger space for meetings and increase the use upstairs. Doors and windows, the addition of the false front facade. We realized we were really close to a commercial kitchen, and we're basically one sink short. So we decided to add one additional hand washing sink, and that gave us the ability to get certified by San Juan Basin Public Health.
Smart.
Yeah, the HVAC system as well. And then we also decided it was going to be more cost effective to do some built-ins in the front visitors welcome center. So we built in a front kiosk there. Framing that out was significantly cheaper than looking at buying a 6 or 8 foot standing large kiosk, if you will. And that came out to be very affordable as well. Gloria, did you have any other notes on things that may have been outside of the bid?
No, I think you covered it.
So those are the items, and even with all of those additions and the overages, we still feel pretty good about being within $35,000, being that there was additional plumbing, additional framing, et cetera. And barring any unforeseen circumstances, we think we'll be very close to that target when the project's completed.
And then all the trustees received a invitation for September 9th, which will be our dedication ceremony at 12:30. So hopefully we'll have all of our components done by then and be able to open up the park. And Todd we've scaled back a little bit on the landscaping budget, or as far as the landscaping components, because we want to see how people are using the park before we start putting in kind of barriers and blocks and stuff. So it's going to be a simpler design, which will save us some money there and hopefully account for the cost overages of like the $34,000 that we were anticipating.
Sure. So we budgeted $200,000 for the park elements, the construction of the stone, the concrete work, sod, sprinklers, et cetera. We're optimistic it's going to come in significantly below that number. And it's looking good right now that this $35,000 overage on the building budget might be able to be absorbed by the park design budget, really without sacrificing too much to the park aesthetic. We still think the park is going to look really, really beautiful and have all these great design elements, just scaled back a little bit and increasing the usable space. And just to run through where we're basically at with the building itself and why we're feeling pretty good right now about being open with inside of a month is we've got some plumbing, mainly the placement of toilets and sinks and the actual fixture installs, finishing electrical work, which is a lot of just putting up the face plates, getting the lights going, finalizing electrical work. There's a little bit left of corrugated metal siding work to do, but they're really moving. They might have even finished up over the weekend. I haven't been over there this morning, but that was moving along quickly. Door hangs, those were all done last week. The building's essentially dried in at this point. Tile and flooring, predominantly in the restrooms themselves. That's going to be a fair amount of tile work. The front visitor center room and the upstairs meeting room are both going to be just luxury vinyl laminate flooring. And then the garage and the kitchen will just be sealed concrete to prevent stains. And both are drained as well. So we were able to save a little bit of money there, not going with doing tile or something like that in the kitchen. And we do feel it'll hold up well once it's epoxied and be pretty cleanable and resistant. We've also got FRP. We did, it's essentially a composite plastic product, 6 feet high in both of the bathrooms. We'll be able to go in, wipe down the walls, clean them, sanitize them, hose them off, and they'll go right into a drain. So that was a pretty core component. We're waiting for that FRP paneling to go up before the restroom stalls can go in, and then the fixtures will go in. And we expect most of that to be done inside of 2 weeks as well. Then we have some countertop placements, some finishing carpentry, the installation of the staircase. We expect the staircase to come in under budget. It is hand welded, kind of a rusty metal 2-story staircase. So that was a fair expense. But the bid that we received and where we expect to land, it will be under budget. And that's about it. So we really do feel like we're kind of getting near these finishing touches and doing a lot of the fun stuff where the building starts really coming together visually with each step that we go through here. And Jim, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to field them.
Yeah. What's going to be the final, what are we anticipating as the final overage?
As of right now, to the best of our ability in consulting with Brian, we think we're looking at $35,003.44.
It's pretty precise.
We've been trying to do the best we can to keep it on budget. And I would also just add, I'm sure you recall when the project was approved, there was no contingency built into it. So no 10% or 15%, which can be typical in this type of project. And I know we were all a little concerned about that when we started. But we feel pretty good about the reality of where we are after being this far along in the project, that it's as close as we really could be without sacrificing the design.
Hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. So the last 10.15% should be that 36,000 you're talking about.
No, that's what will be over from that. That last 10%, we'll expend that, and then we'll be $35 or 35,000.
35,000 over that.
Yes. Yeah, and that's where we're hoping to recover those costs in the park elements. So we budgeted the 200,000 for the park elements, and we expect that to be significantly down. So hopefully this is all going to balance out.
Perfect. All
Yeah.
right.
So particularly with the doors and windows and the HVAC system, our budget went up to $1,046,632. And we have 106 of that unexpended. And like I said, we're expecting its cost around 141,000, leaving a gap of 35,000 in essentially unplanned overages. Or unbudgeted overages.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And then we'll do our best to not spend it all if we can't.
Right.
Correct.
Right on, right on. Perfect. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, we were gonna do a walkthrough today, but I didn't think anyone was gonna be in person, so we decided not to do a walkthrough with the finance committee today. But very soon we'll give you a walkthrough here. It's really exciting. Todd did that for the staff a couple weeks ago, and a lot has happened in that couple weeks,
The
actually.
walkthroughs get more exciting by the day.
Yeah,
Well, thank you, Todd. That was a great presentation.
Thanks, Jim. And I'm sure we'll be doing this for the entirety of the board here soon enough. Hopefully sometime in August. And if any of the other finance committee members have any questions, please encourage them to just reach out, or I'd be happy to speak with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool.
great. And that is the end of our agenda. This is a really fast one. We just ran right through it. Any other business that's, oh, and an audit update. I think we have an audit update on here that we missed.
Yeah, so we just have the auditors went through all of our files, just got to submit a couple things that they had some questions on, got to do interviews with staff, and we should be wrapping things up pretty soon.
So our goal is no extension this year because the audit is due on the 31st, July 31st. And it's been a lofty goal to try and meet with all the stuff. We had a computer get fried that our accountant usually zooms in on, so or accesses our server on. So
Right.
we are excited that this might actually be the year we don't have to file an extension, and I'll have actuals going into budget season early.
Very cool.
All right. Well, thanks for your time this morning, Jim. Appreciate your dedication.
Absolutely. Thank you all for yours.
All right. Well, I'll probably be giving you a call here soon, touching base on some stuff for next week, but
Yeah, please
thanks
do.
again, and we will adjourn.
All right. We'll talk to y'all later.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.
Have a good one. See you, Jim.